Hi, everybody. Welcome back. If you don't already know me, I'm Jessica. I am an ex-public school teacher turned homeschooling mama to 3 girls. And today I'm going to be sharing with you all of our curriculum picks for the first grade year for my 6-year-old and the pre-K kind of year for my 3-year-old. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that last year we stuck with the good and the beautiful for pretty much everything. And I was sadly disappointed. So I really knew that this year I wanted something a little more solid and a little more mastery based. And I found through many, many sleepless nights of watching YouTube videos and reading reviews and having my husband watch videos with me and going to the Florida Homeschool Convention and actually personally talking with these curriculum people, I learned that I was probably going to go a little bit more of like an a la carte style this year instead of just focusing on one curriculum. So I'll get started with my 6-year-old first. We are going into the first grade year. We just finished the kindergarten year. And if you don't already know, we are a part of a classical conversations homeschool community. And so our base curriculum always is this classical model of education, which is our classical conversations foundations curriculum. This pretty much covers all subjects, but right now, because she's in that foundation stage of learning, it's a lot of memory work. So not a lot of deeper meaning. She'll get into that in a little bit. So this is what we use for our memory work. It has each of the cycles in there, and we do meet once a week with our homeschool group, and they review all of their stuff together. So that's been great. We finished the year with them last year, and we are picking up this year again with them. For math, I am super excited for this. We are going with Math UC. We are in the alpha level. I did dabble looking at the beta level a little bit, and I don't think she's quite ready for that yet. This is a huge change because coming from the good and the beautiful, which I was really disappointed with, especially with the math and how all over the place it seemed. When my husband and I were looking up the different curriculums for math, this one kept coming up over and over again, but it was really intimidating because of all the manipulatives and all the things that you needed for it. But long story short, my husband was the one who was really sold. He's like, this is the one, let's try it. And we've already done quite a few lessons of this, and she is loving it. I am loving it. I'm so glad that we went with this. I feel like this has been a godsend. And so she'll be in the alpha level for now, but it doesn't go year by year. So she could easily just move into the next level when she's ready, whether that's, you know, in 2 months, in 6 months, in 2 years. It's totally up to her because it's mastery based. Another big change for this year is that we are going with Christian Light Education for our reading curriculum. So because she is in first grade, technically, it was a little confusing. I had to kind of purchase 2 levels. The first one is learning to read. She'll start with this, and then she'll move into the reading one. This was another one that I feel like was a godsend. And there is another mama on here. It's My Sweetie Bird's Home. I think I'm saying that right. I'll put it down in the notes below. But she has some really good videos about this, and she's actually the one who sold me on it. And we have already started it. We are loving it. It starts very, very basic, which I like because it's kind of a review. And then from what I flipped through and saw, it gets very advanced very quickly, which I also appreciate. So this is Christian Light Education. It has the little paper booklets that she'll fill out. She gets 10 of these per level. And then also this might be the book that a lot of you are familiar with seeing. This goes with her level 1. And it was cheap. It was so cheap. And I have a whole video on my channel about this too, because I'm so excited for it. So for history this year, we are going with Story of the World. We actually started this with our classical conversations curriculum, which is really heavy on the history. And I fell in love with it. So I ended up purchasing the activity book to go with it. So I do this little read aloud with them at night, and they're loving it. It is, it's really good. Even my 3-year-old, she's totally loving this. We do the read aloud, and then the activity pages we have not started yet, but I'm excited. I also bought the CD that goes with it. So like when we're driving in the car, it's like kind of like a little audio book to go with that. So that'll complement our classical conversations curriculum well. For Bible curriculum, we were not actually going to go with a formal Bible curriculum because we are really active in our church. We go to, the Sunday school, my daughters go to that, and then we do our in-home Bible studies too. But because we won a full year of a first grade Abeka curriculum, it came with this Bible curriculum. So I thought, let's just try it out. And so far we are loving it. She does an online lesson with the Abeka teacher online, which is just a pre-recorded thing. And then we do her actual activity together, and it is really rigorous, but I'm loving it. They're already memorizing scripture. Like she's been doing it for 4 days, and she's already memorized the full John 3:14 through 19, that God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. And she's totally loving it. So super impressed with this. I was not expecting to love it as much as I do. So we're definitely going to stick with this, Abeka Bible. Going along with Abeka Online, we are sticking with their writing program. So this is writing with phonics. They're taking the phonics skills that they're learning and they're applying it to their writing. It's this giant writing tablet that they're given. But what I really like about it is that eventually they give her a little story and then she'll go on to write her story down here. So it's starting really basic from what I've seen, but I'm excited for this as well. So that's Abeka for her writing. Also with Abeka, we are doing their spelling and poetry program. I really like this too so far. She's only been memorizing the poems at this point, but eventually she will be given spelling lists and be expected to do her spelling tests as well. For handwriting, we are also sticking with Abeka. So this is another thing where she does the online lesson pre-recorded with the teacher, and then she and I come together and do the activity. And what I really like that I noticed right away is that the Abeka handwriting papers, the lines are very small. They're very close together, which is really what she needed because her letters are huge, which is typical for this age. But so far, loving this, and I think she's really loving it too. So that's Abeka writing for handwriting. And Abeka phonics and language. Now they do have these separated, although from what I've seen, they're very similar so far. The phonics program I've heard is really strong with Abeka. I've heard great things about it. But so far I'm really underwhelmed. We're only 5 days in, but she's doing like apple, BB, you know, and it's really, really basic. But coming from the good and the beautiful, which as much as I complain about it, it did challenge her a little bit at some points. She is thinking this is way too easy, but I'm hoping it picks up speed. And again, I also told her, like, it's the beginning of the year. Of course, they're going to have you review stuff that you already know just to see if you remember it. But to her, it's weird because we homeschool all year round and we don't do these giant summer breaks or anything. We take our breaks as we need. And so to her, she's like, wait a minute, I just finished that really heavy Good and the Beautiful kindergarten final assessment. And now I'm doing vowel sounds. So hoping it picks up, but that's Abeka language and phonics. And then this year for art, I actually purchased last year the Good and the Beautiful art project book, and I really, really like this, but it's more so for fun. So like I'll just pull it out if we need a quick project to do, if it's a rainy day or something. Has really good illustrations. Of course, the Good and the Beautiful is known for that. So this one's more so of like our fun art projects, but then Abeka actually has the formal art curriculum, and this is again what we won, where she watches the video online and then she and I come together and do the project. And I really like this. It has all the supplies that you need. You just kind of cut them out, and everything's included, and so far she's loving it, and it's really scheduled nicely. So before with art, I felt like I was just kind of, you know, oh, let's just do an art project today, or let's just pencil it in somewhere. But with this, it's formal enough to where it's like, okay, Tuesday, we know we're doing an art project. So loving that. And then our classical conversations curriculum is really heavy on art as well, art and music, but it's more so history, like art history and different composers for music and things like that. That is it for my 6-year-old who is technically in first grade. That's all the picks for her. Now I will show you everything that I have for my 3-year-old, who I guess technically would be pre-K. Because she's only 3, we're not doing anything too crazy. I didn't spend a bunch of money on, you know, big curriculum boxes or anything, but I did find this at a Rainbow Resource booth at a homeschool convention that I went to. And this is the Learning Without Tears program. A lot of people know it by Handwriting Without Tears. And her level, I chose the My First School book. And oh my gosh, it's such a funny story behind this. So she's never really sat down and done any kind of like formal homeschool with me before. So when I told her we were going to do like big girl school, the very first day, all it was she just had to color some stars because they're giving her the opportunity to gain some like control over the crayon. That's all it is. And she was not happy that she had to sit and do this. And I even wrote a little note at the top, and it says, threw a major tantrum, too many stars, I can't do it. So then the next day, let's just try again. Let's just see how she does. So next day, similar, little stars in the windows that she had to color. And the note says, sat and whined, picked her up, removed her from the room. She knocked and chose to come back in to finish. So she took control, wanted to come back and finish, and did a great job with it. So it was like a little better than the previous day. And then the next day, fireworks. She had to color the fireworks. That's it. Just getting that crayon control. And the note that I wrote for that was a little whining, then very focused. So it took about 3 days for her to really realize, like, okay, this isn't so bad. This isn't torture. And then the final note that I wrote, and then I stopped writing notes because now she loves it. The final note says, no whining or complaining at all, even went on to the next page without prompting. But it looks really basic. Eventually she gets enough control to where she can start doing the lines down, the little ladybugs going down. And then we have been doing it for quite some time now to where she's actually doing letters. So she's tracing her letters and things like that. So we do a little bit of that. Then I also purchased the Good and the Beautiful pre-K curriculum. So it looks like that. I was not impressed with the Good and the Beautiful for the kindergarten curriculum, but because this is just pre-K, I feel like I can't be messing her up too bad, right? And it's still super beautiful pictures, which is what they're known for. So we're going to try it out. She's definitely not ready yet. She turned 3 in April, and I feel like she just needs a little bit more time to ground herself. And I don't want to push anything on her too fast. I think I did that with my 6-year-old where I was like, you're going to be this genius child, and you know, we're going to make you the smartest one. Like I've totally changed my ways. So I'm going to let her take the lead on this. And then the final thing that I'm going to do with my 3-year-old when she's ready is this is the Learning Dynamics 4 Weeks to Read program. So I have a whole video on my channel. I swear by this program. This is not sponsored or anything. This is just something I did with my 6-year-old. And I feel like it's kind of like Hooked on Phonics, if you remember that. But a little more modern, and it has all the little reader books in here and little songs to go with each of the letter sounds. And so 100% going to be doing this with her, but when she's ready. This year, I also did purchase a formal homeschool planner. So before I was just kind of jotting notes in my personal calendar, but this is a homeschool planner that I got from, I hope I'm saying this right, Homeschooling Mama of 3. I'll tag her down below as well. And these are so beautiful. She makes these, she customizes them. She puts your kids' names on the inside of them, and everything is really nice and neat and organized. There's like our read aloud list here, formal lesson plan pages, calendars. I mean, everything you could possibly want in here. Colorful, beautiful, love it. So shout out to her. And she also gave like a few little freebies of like chore charts and things in the package, which I really appreciated. Last thing that I want to show you is, even though I'm doing the homeschool planner, which is kind of like my base where I put like the foundation in the book, this is something that I made, and I would be more than willing to send this to anybody that wants it. It's just a PowerPoint presentation file that I edit to meet our family's schedule. So I swear by this. I love the homeschool planner, but I hate having to like flip open to the page and find where I'm at, and I forget things. But this is something that I did where I broke down Monday through Friday, and then it's our personal schedule. So personal to our family. So like on Monday at 2, she has piano lessons. So I have that in here so I know not to plan reading or math at that time on that day. And then Tuesdays are Classical Conversations Community Day, where we meet with our homeschool families and homeschool groups. So our Tuesday day, we don't have like a heavy homeschool day. And then Wednesday, she's got dance down here. And then I take my 1-year-old to the library in the morning. And so I've got all that in there so that I know to not plan core curriculum specifically on those days. And I also did little check boxes. So I just carry this around all day long. As we finish activities, I check it off. What we don't finish one day, I can just draw an arrow over to the next day. If she's sick or something, it's just really nice to have this, to where you make it all pretty in the book and then it's permanent and you can't change it. This, I can just print out a whole new one. So again, I would love to send this to you if you want this, and you can just edit it for your own family, however it works for you. We also did something new this year, something I guess you would call like a soft start. And thank God we did, because August 7th, which was this past Monday, was supposed to be our like official first day back for homeschool. And I was like, you know what, let's do like a little soft start and see how the schedule goes, see how things are rolling. And I'm so glad I did that, because right away, within the first couple hours, I knew, okay, we're not doing reading first thing in the morning. There's no way. My 1-year-old is awake and she is wild. My 3-year-old is not focused. My 6-year-old is distracted by the younger 2. So I was like, okay, no, I'm going to have my 6-year-old do her online stuff in the morning so I can give attention to the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old and take them to the library and do whatever I need to do, because my husband works from home. So it really works out. And then my 6-year-old and I will sit down for math and reading and our one-on-one subjects when those 2 go for a nap. And so I don't know why I didn't think of that from the beginning. I should have. But in my mind, I thought, oh, let's do reading in the morning when everybody's brains are fresh and awake. No. So do the soft start. Please do not do what I did and write a beautiful schedule in this colorful ink that you can't erase. Now I'm looking for, yeah, look. I wrote the schedule here. And then 2 days in, I was like, oh, this is not working. So now I can't change it. Which is nice about this, because then I just went onto my computer and I edited on the PowerPoint document for us. So do the soft start, see what works for you. That's the best part about homeschooling, right? Is we can change it if it's not working. And that's one thing about when I taught public school, and even me as a public school student. It's like, if you are supposed to be doing science at 2 o'clock, that is your window for science, and you better be doing science. There's no changing the schedule to fit your students' needs. And I really feel like that was a big problem that I was having in the public school system. So that is it for our curriculum picks. I'm super excited. I will provide updates as we go along. And I will say too, this year, I feel confident about these choices. Like last year, we were halfway through the year with the good and the beautiful and our first year in classical conversations. And I was like, oh, am I making the right choice? Like, should we switch curriculums in the middle of the year? Should we just finish out what we started? And I really struggled with that. But this year, I feel good. I feel confident. The only thing is like nailing down a better schedule. I do still feel like it's taking way too long. Like we're schooling from like 9 in the morning to like almost 1 p.m. And I would like to cut that down to be done by like 12. And then we have the rest of the day for fun. Keep an eye out for those update videos, and I will see you back soon.